That's better. So, Tackles and Tinnies listeners, for last Thursday, Gary was a potato. Tuesday, on the 27th of May, we also have Jake, the potato. So, last week, Chris, Jake, and I also recorded a fantasy file episode, but Jake, again, the potato, the OG potato, um, lost internet, and we lost all last week's content, which was absolutely banger content. We had Origin chat, we had buy round chat, and then then tonight, fast forward tonight, 27th of May, Chris, Jake, and I, we're popping off. We're telling hot takes. Banter's flowing. Origin chat's good. Chris has got shit takes on New South Wales. Stock standard. And then we get to the 30-minute mark, and then Jake, the potato, has struck again and had a corrupted file. So I'm not risking it. We're redoing it, and we're praying to the tackle and tinny gods with the full crack of the tin that we are making it through. Jake, what have you got to say about this?
Hey mate, you know what they say, when life throws you potatoes, make some great fries or something, I don't know. So, hot chip sandwich, mate. So, yeah, look, 2 weeks in a row, I am the problem. I am the problem. So, but yeah, we're giving it another hot crack. We got plenty to say, all good things. So, yeah, let's do another take two. Let's rip in.
Yeah. Chrissy, how are you, mate?
Not too bad. Jake, acknowledging that you're the problem is step one always. No, I've been good. You know, work's been busy, but yeah, no, I'm very excited for tomorrow evening.
Yeah, 100%. I'm frothing at the mouth like a rabid pit bull terrier. I'm actually going to the game tomorrow, so absolutely so keen. It's going to be a long day at work trying to get through with all the excitement and all the kids yeehaw and chahooing at me, all the New South Wales fans. But obviously, Tackles and Tinnies, they'll be listening to that and get some good advice on SuperCoach, that's for sure. I think we get straight into Origin chat, boys, or take two of Origin chat. What do we think of the teams, Chris? What are we thinking? New South Wales, Queensland.
Do you want my hot take?
Hot take.
I think New South Wales we win by 20. We win by 20.
You're staying Moses.
With it. Mitchell Moses, he's going.
Listen, as he was backtracking. He's like, I don't know, 30 to 10 sounded pretty like cap. No, he's sticking to it. Man of his word.
No, I was thinking about maybe 20 wasn't enough. Maybe I was thinking maybe 30. No, I think Mitchell Moses, continues on where he left off in game 3 last year. Obviously, without the broken arm or elbow, whatever it was last year. I think that Latrell Mitchell is going to be just class. He's going to just absolutely teach Bobby Toyer a lesson. Hat-trick for sure. Man of the match, and also he's going to end his media ban because he's just going to be that happy.
Any what do you reckon the score is? So you reckon still 30 to 10?
30 to 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Consistency creates greatness. Jake, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, look, we're going to stick with consistency. Following on mine then, I'm back in Munster, mate. Queensland are winning this 24-16. And yeah, just having Munster back. He's been out for Queensland over the past year or two. And yeah, I don't think New South Wales are ready for one of the great 5/8s of Cam Munster to come out and do his thing. He's a super dangerous flirt out there, mate. So yeah, he's going to be doing good things for Queensland, and be ready for some Munster magic. So it'll be good. Excited for it, mate.
Yep, frothing at the mouth for sure. Hot take, Jake. What's the score?
24-16. Queensland's way. At Suncorp, game 1, ready for it.
Yeah. I guess I've got to be consistent. So I said it was going to be a slow start. Or not slow start. I think it's going to be a close affair at the start of the game. I think the first 20 minutes is really going to dictate who's going to be coming on top. The big explosive forward pack of New South Wales versus the more mobile forward pack of Queensland. I think it's going to be like probably 12-6 New South Wales at halftime, and then typical Queensland underdogs coming on through, and I'm going to say it'll be like 24-18 to Queensland in the second half. So yeah, Queens get the win. I'm going to say, yeah, I love the Magic Munster, or the Money Man Munster shout out, Jake. But I think KP as well. I think KP is ready to let loose and regain some form. I said to Gazzy and Morgo last week on the podcast that I think Ponga's just been hanging for the past couple of weeks, trying to get to a winning culture and winning team, get back around the boys. I think it's going to really rejuvenate him. And if we got looking at the spines, 1-1, 6-6, 7-7, and 9-9, I think actually Queensland has the advantage with the fullback position and at hooker. And I think that's going to be the difference with Harry Grant. Reece Robson, Connor Watson are very good in their own right, but they're not Harry Grant. Harry Grant is an absolute gun. He's a savant. He knows where the markers are always going to be. He loves a little cheeky flop, and I'll be flopping my like a dead salmon on the road trying to copy him. But yeah, I think Munster and Harry Grant, those Melbourne boys, yeah, they're going to turn it on, and Ponga is going to be my man of the match. So yeah, Chris, is that an acceptable call or not?
I'm going to back Dylan Edwards, the Australian fullback, over KP every day of the week. I do agree. I do think that, Harry Grant, he's definitely a lot better than, Reece Robson and Connor Watson. But, honestly, I'm just looking for clean service from the two hookers, really. The faster they can pass the ball out to, Mitchell Moses and Nathan Cleary, we've got enough creativity in the halves. We don't need our hooker doing, crazy things. I am very scared of Cam Munster, though. I do agree, Jakey. That, fifth tackle, he's going to kick the ball to Xavier Coates. I just hope that Zach Lomax is on, because otherwise there could be a couple of tries to Xavier Coates. Obviously, there'll be consolation tries, at the end. But, I am a bit concerned about that one. I'll give you that.
Well, let's talk, I reckon, about guys who are a bit hard done by. I think one of them is your boy, Chris, Appy Coruscant, and he's going to be a bit of a hot topic on the SuperCoach section of this podcast later on. I thought it was quite hard done by. I thought, yeah, he's probably the inform hooker for New South Wales this year overall. Reece Robson obviously is good in his own right, but yeah, more so that workhorse, and obviously Connor Watson is that hybrid player you can chuck in. Yeah, I think, yes, you're saying we have really classy and creative halves in Cleary and Moses. However, isn't that Daly Cherry Evans and Cam Munster? Can't you argue the exact same thing? Harry Grant's as crafty as Appy Coruscant, maybe slightly less, but yeah, very, very crafty out of dummy half. And I think he provides more punch than a guy like Reece Robson. And that's not saying Reece Robson's a bad player at all, but I think Appy Coruscant is quite hard done by.
Oh, yeah, look. In that sense, I definitely agree. He's so creative and just so sneaky, so much moxie, out of half. I guess obviously, Reece Robson, he's an incumbent. It's his jersey to lose, and he hasn't done much wrong this year. He's scored a couple of tries. He's been really solid in defense, and I think that's what we need. As New South Wales, we just need to, we need to make sure we don't miss tackles. Appy's susceptible to missing tackles. And also Reece Roberts, just that slightly bigger body, to in that middle. So, I get it. It goes both ways, but if when it comes to creativity, I don't think we have a depth of that. We don't have enough of that in the New South Wales team. Can't have too many cooks. You need to have a couple of Indians. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Jake, what are your thoughts on that Appy Coruscant take?
Yeah, look, he's definitely, crafty is the perfect word for Appy. He's definitely a danger man, very sneaky at what he does. But I actually think Robson and Watson are the right picks for New South Wales. I feel like Watson can bring a lot of energy. He's a great 14 for the Blues. Very versatile with between hooker and lock mainly, but you could probably chuck him in second row centres in worst case scenarios and stuff like that, even at 6 as well. So Watson for me is a definite, and Robson obviously probably just plays that better defensive role, and brings that hard work ethic, I think, for the Blues. So I can definitely understand how Appy has missed out. He's been there before, and he is one of the boys who is getting a little bit older. So the Blues did a job last year, and that was with Robson and Watson. So I can definitely understand them getting the pick.
There, you could also argue that you just go full Penrith Panthers of old and have Dylan Edwards, Critter, Appy, Cleary, Isaiah Yo, Liam Martin. Just go full Penrith Panthers. Why not?
Just bring Brad Fittler back as coach then, I reckon, as well. Just do it. So
True. Another player I thought was quite hard done by was Corey Horsburgh from the Canberra Raiders for Queensland. Yeah, and I'll get through my interchange take shortly, but what do you guys think about Corey Horsburgh or Big Red, Jakey, about not getting in as a Queensland supporter?
yeah, look, if Horsburgh makes it, probably the only man you release from that starting 17 is Trent Loiero. So look, I'm all for in Billy we trust. So you could probably say that he might have a soft spot for Trent just through that Melbourne Storm connection there. But Trent has definitely been a part of the Queensland camp, I know, for a couple of years now. So he's obviously doing a good job, and Billy likes what he sees there. So if Corey has missed his chance, if you're competing against essentially Mo, Tino, Lindsay, I guess out of those kind of like starting props, when we've got Cotter and Carrigan in that second row and lock as well, who can both slot into that prop position too, I can kind of understand how Corey's missed out. Look, anyone who's kind of like on the fringe of making it for state rep, you're always going to feel a little bit hard done by that you've missed out or whatnot. But you just need to keep working for it. So the more I look at actually the teams, I think they're all in all, they're great picks. I am very excited for tomorrow night. It's going to be a great contest.
What's your thought?
I do. I do feel bad for Corey Horsburgh, but I think last week's performance against New Zealand Warriors actually just perfectly encapsulates as to why he's missed out. That sin binning, that was completely unnecessary. He's just a bit of a liability, and and on the state of origin, field, that's the biggest stage, and just a sin binning, I can imagine Liam Martin, Angus Crichton, they're just going to goad him. And if he loses his cool and he gets sin binned, that's the game over. It's as simple as that, I do want to take a shout out for my man, Terrell May, who has missed out. Justice for May. I think he's been by far and wide the second best prop in the game this year, behind Payne Haas throwing up very similar numbers. And, I'm sad he's missed out. We could have literally had two 80-minute hookers. Well, not exactly, but, we wouldn't even need a bench, honestly.
Yeah, literally. Terrell May, obviously hard done by 100%. Max King, him was obviously a probably 50-50 call for Laurie Daly, but again, he's the coach. He sees more than we do, and I'm assuming Craig Bellamy was obviously in his ear a little bit as well. And the super coaches there would empathise with that. But again, most of us have Corey Horsburgh in our super coach team, so I guess that's somewhat of a win in that regard. But I think the Queensland team, because we haven't got what's his name? Gilbert. Gilbert did his pec injury.
Oh, Gilbert.
He's that kind of guy that brings that mongrel, that Liam Martin-esque type player. So when Gilbert's out with a pec, I thought Corey Horsburgh would then be almost a lock to bring that fiery intensity to hype the boys up. But I can understand the liability side of things. But you also got to remember Not as many calls happen in Origin, so there is a bit more give, a little bit more niggle. So yeah, see how we go. There's one thing I want to say about the Queensland team. I like the selections, but again, an interchange bench for me, you should have utility. So Dearden, okay, makes sense, I guess. Your out and out front rower, so Lindsay Collins, that makes sense. Then we got Beau Fermor, you're like your second row centre utility sort of player. Yeah, makes sense, and obviously in great form as well. Could arguably starting. And then Trent Liero coming off the bench. Don't like that at all. I said that in our first version of this podcast. However, Trent Liero for me, he's that guy. He's a workhorse. He's Nate Miles 2.0 in my eyes. He's not the guy coming on trying to gang bust like a Spencer Linu or a Gus Crichton. You're not going to have that impact. So, what's his role then? Like, isn't his role to take the heavy duty, like get rid of all those like crappy hit ups at the start of the game, just absolute workhorse in defense? He'd be better starting at lock, and then we just go Paddy Carrigan straight into the front row. Tino, Pat Carrigan, arguably like two of the best 5 front rowers in rugby league currently, against Mitchy Barnett and Payne Haas. That's the contest I think all fans would probably prefer to see. And then obviously Liero can take that sting out of the game, and then you get that good foot speed with Lindsay Collins or Mo Fodawaker. I think that helps the dynamic of the team a lot more. And hey, tell you what, there could be a late change tomorrow. No word on that, obviously, because I don't know any key Queensland selectors, but I think it's a good shout, to be honest. Is there any other Origin takes before we move on to Supercoach, Jakey?
Nah, not from me. Yeah, that Trent chat. I definitely understand your thoughts there, Ryan. But I think just being a debutant as well. Yeah, you probably want your experienced boys maybe out there to start it. Yeah, there's definitely plenty of options that Billy can do, but yeah, I definitely understand your point of view there. So, but yeah, all in all, nothing really else from me that except yeah, enjoy seeing Queensland win tomorrow live, mate. So
I will. Chris, you?
Oh, my only question I really have for you guys is, what changes are you guys going to make to the team when you guys are like 1-0 tomorrow for the game to win Perth?
Bunter.
how good.
All right, straight hypothetical. If Selwyn Cobbo is healthy, what's the shout of putting Selwyn Cobbo on the bench and Tom Dearden on the bench? Do we like that or not? Chris? Or Jake, don't matter.
Yeah, I don't know if I even love Tom Dearden on the bench. For me, he's my 18th man, and I probably put Kurt Mann at 14. Just for that more versatile role. I reckon Dearden's a great player. Brings a lot of good traits to his game. Hard worker, all effort. But yeah, I'm all about, I think that versatility. And yeah, to be honest, having Selwyn at 17 as well at the same time, I wouldn't hate it. I've always really liked, ever since Billy put him at 17 that year that Walsh went down, and we had Cobbo on that 17 jersey just ready. It just seems so right. So yeah, I don't hate it now. So, but yeah, I've got no problem with it essentially.
I'm with Jake. I really like it. Billy did it once before. Hey, why not again? I feel really, really agree with Jake in the sense that I actually think that Selwyn Cobb is a much better 14 than Tom Dearden. Honestly, I really struggle to see what Tom's role will be tomorrow. And obviously, that being said, we're not. Billy knows the team better, and I'm really excited for tomorrow. Yeah.
But what's the difference between having Daly Cherry Evans or Cooper Cronk at 14 over the years, boys? Like, there's really no difference. You got a halfback 5'8" coming off the bench, and it's been proven for like over 15 years now that role has worked. Is that a fair call, Chris?
Not my area of expertise, but sure, yeah. Jakey.
Look, for me, it was just I think it was just bringing in Cooper Cronk into and DCE just into the dynasty essentially. That's all I can clearly remember. It's just like, hey, learn from Lockyer, learn from JT and those 6 and 7s, get your experience up. We'll chuck you on for the last 15 when we're winning 20-0 or whatever it's going to be, kind of thing, and yeah, just follow through. So.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly all the games back then, and yeah, it's definitely a fair point. You look at Cooper Cronk; he's that essentially that halfback role for his career, and yeah, we used to treat him as a 14 as well. So that's obviously why we're no superstar coaches or anything like that. So yeah, it's definitely a great point of view there again, Ryan. So
On fire
it
tonight,
could be the
boys.
right move this year.
But with the Selwyn Cobbo take, it's that type of player. So his body shape and size, that's the only exception that I would say, because I'd feel quite comfortable if I was Billy Slater. 10, 15 minutes, you're in the middle if you have to. And obviously an outside back goes down, that speak for itself. But I'd feel more than comfortable putting Cobbo at second row or put him at lock. No worries. Big enough, strong enough. Obviously, having a bit of offloads there as well could be a game breaker too, and obviously could be a very good link man as well. Good passing game at fullback for the Broncos as well. But yeah, who knows? Game 2, but we won't need to make a change because obviously Queensland are winning. So I'll move on quickly so Chris can't make a take. But let's segue to will these boys be backing up? So obviously it's Tuesday right now, so 27th of May. TLT came out and pretty much everyone has been named to back up. So players like Payne Haas, that's a big surprising one for me. Jake, what's your thoughts on all the Origin boys backing up?
Yeah, I think they will be backing up. They've obviously all been named, but you never know what happens after Origin. But providing there's no major injuries, I think I was saying earlier, a lot of the teams who have the stars in the Origin teams this year aren't aren't really the top four sides. Yeah, you could eat like an easy call out is that Panthers team with I think five players in the Blues squad, and I believe they've all been named because yeah, their season isn't doing too great. So yeah, state of origin's huge. You want to do your best for your state, but yeah, there's still obviously a lot to care about at club level. So I can imagine a lot of these boys they've got amongst it, had a huge week in camp, and they want to come back and support their team and try and get a win over the weekend. So I see them backing up.
Yeah. Chris, you?
Yeah, same as Jakey. I reckon most of them will back up. Most have a history as well. You know, Zach Lomax, who we'll probably talk about later today as well. But I would be surprised if Payne Haas backed up. Maybe off the bench, possibly. You know, especially with that quad injury, and you know, I only started running I think on Sunday. If I'm not correct.
Crazy.
Yeah, even if he does play, especially if he does play and he does pull up okay, why risk him? You know, if he re-injures that quad, he's out for a lot longer, and that really hurts the Broncos. They're playing against Manly this week, you know, and they didn't look very inspired against Para last week.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing to also note is that the league is so close. Like the Titans are doing so trash, but they're literally like 2 wins away from being like 6th place or something. So yeah, it's definitely wide open. And we spoke of this earlier on in the season on the main podcast. But transparency throughout any sort of league, is particularly a league that we love in the NRL. You can go to any sort of game and any team can sort of win. And I think last week was the first time since 2017, I might be misquoting this, but yeah, since 2017 that every single underdog won the game. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, in terms of boys backing up, yeah, I think most of the interchange boys coming off both benches will obviously back up. I'm a bit surprised with Nathan Cleary because his daddy, Ivan Cleary, stated, well, again, shit take by Adam most likely because he told me this, but Ivan Cleary has said that Nathan Cleary won't be backing up, but I think due to the fact that the Panthers have to win games, and I think they have to win like something crazy, like 80% plus of their games to actually make the finals. He has to back up. They haven't got that luxury. So as super coaches, most of us do have Nathan Cleary and guys like of his caliber. So fantastic in regards to that, because I know, like yourselves, boys, I've been max trading sort of every single week. So yeah, guys like Payne Haas and Tino, who I don't plan on ever trading out, I don't have to do that or even think about that, which is absolutely unreal. That old set and forget mindset. Jake, is there any further Origin chit chat you want to go on before we get back to the main potty?
No, nothing specifically. When it comes to, I guess, like trade potentials and all that kind of stuff, I reckon Origin will kind of come into it further on. But yeah, as for at the moment, I'm good.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh, Ryan, in defense of our good colleague Adam the scumbag, I will say that. And I think Ivan Cleary came out and talked about I think game two. I think Adam was referring just to game two, where I think they play in Perth, and I think and then Penrith have like a 2 or 3 day turnaround to go down to New Zealand. I think he said it was just game two. Yeah, not game one. That's why Adam's keeping Cleary for 13 and 14.
I reverse trade my scumbag call then. So well done, Adam. Good take. Yeah, so yeah.
Well done, Adam scumbag.
Might be forced trade. We don't know. But yeah, Origin obviously is a big thing. But I think we haven't even talked about how we went last week. So Chris, how'd you score, mate? What happened last week for you?
Oh, last week was a bit of a down week for me. I scored 896. I dropped 552 spots to 1399. I managed to scrape 14 players on the field by making 3 trades. Those trades were Ponga to Turbo. He scored 72. Dylan Egan to Joey Taps for 58, and Jacob Kiraz for Aaron Clark, and he scored 65, and he was also my captain. I had a down week, mostly because most of my pods didn't score. I played Tom Jenkins, Billy Smith, Nicker, and Connor Tracy. Casey McLean absolutely cock-blocked Tom Jenkins on numerous occasions. It's so annoying. I don't know why I kept him. Nicker went missing against an understrength Roosters team, but Connor Tracy, I didn't think he could score badly again, and repeat his score of 27 last week, but then he came back, he scored 18 and again dropped out of my team. Regrets, boys. Regrets. I should have listened to you guys. You guys tried to help me.
Tackles and Tees listeners, we were telling Chris about the mid-man, better known as Connor Tracy, overrated as can be in regards to SuperCoach, but Jake's probably frothing because he's got the dual position, but yeah, never liked that call. But yeah, that backfires for you, mate, so we'll see. Hang on, I'm poor. Technical difficulties.
Jake, it's not you this time!
Success, we're back. Nope. I think we're good. Yep.
You're still yellow for me.
There, boys.
You're still yellow for me.
We leave this in the tackles and teams. We run this live, boys. This is what happens when we use the internet. But yes, I think we're good. So I'm recording. No, I should contact the site. Experience connecting issues.
Like it's recording, mate.
Oh, we're back on. Okay. Hello, Tackles and Tinnies listeners. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting re-listen to. I'm having connection issues. It's not Jake. I actually might be joining the trifecta with Gary and Jake in terms of full potato mode. But Jake, how's your team going, mate?
My team? Sorry, what was
mate.
that?
Yeah, how's your team going?
Yeah, look, not a bad week. I feel like my team's doing pretty good overall. Last week I ended up scoring 1035. So, yeah, like semi-happy with it. Happy to definitely hit that 1,000 mark. But, yeah, ended up making 3 trades plus the boost. So 4 trades last week, just with that little scare around Dylan Lucas maybe not playing with his injuries that has been going on. So Did a cheeky vice captain on Fletcher Sharp, which I think I obviously looped in the end, and that obviously was a big save for me. But yeah, I brought in Jason Saab. Should have gone the opposite winger in Lehigh. Yeah, that one definitely hurts. And the only reason that trade happened was because of that Lucas scare. Um, but yeah, I recall bringing in Hosking as well. And KO Eero as well. So, yeah, in terms of my four trades, yeah, all in all, not too bad, but felt like I burnt through them when I didn't really need to. And that's made me incredibly conscious just for the next buy round for round 15. But yeah, all in all, team's good. Few green arrows, jumped up about 7,000, sitting around that 21,000 mark now. And yeah, that team value is sitting at around 16, high 16.3. So yeah, it's good. Feeling good.
Laughing all the way to the bank, mate. 16.3, very, very good. Jake, imagine if you just committed to being a overall player. What could have been?
What was that? Sorry, Ryan?
I was going to say, imagine if you committed at the start of the season being a full overall player instead of just head to head, because you did that mid
Yeah, well, I
round
wouldn't be doing
switch.
very good. Yeah, so yeah, look, I maybe one season I'll jump on that overall train, but yeah, head to head, mate, it's where my heart and soul's at, mate, when it comes to SuperCoach. So I was 2 from 2 this week, so yeah, I'll take it, mate. Love the head to head. Just
You and
give me the wins
Tuapolotti,
each
mate.
week, make it competitive.
You and Tuapolotti,
So
mate. The
yeah,
money
look,
man.
yeah, I have made 2 trades this week, and he's not one of them. But there is a dragon in my team, so which when we start talking trades, we'll definitely jump on that.
Yeah.
So
So listeners, I actually did pretty good this week. I scored the best out of these boys here. I managed to get 1052. Standard Ryan, max trading every single week. It wouldn't be tackles and tinnies without Ryan max trading. So currently I'm ranked 3,934 with a similar team value of about 16.4 million. I made similar trades to the other boys. I did Ponga to Turbo, which I was happy with. Obviously, he's not playing this weekend, but again, with a 72, I'm very happy with. And then last episode of Fantasy Files, which didn't get uploaded due to Potato Boy, aka Jake. Yeah, due to that, Jake's lost. He's scaring me, Jake. Yeah, again, point proven. Due to Potato Boy Jake, we were talking about Herbie Farmworth or KL Eero, and we were tossing up all week, and I did pull the trigger on KL Eero, so I'll take that. That was a great trade. Turbo, happy with as well. And then my last trade, I traded in for Aaron Clark. So Aaron Clark was also a very, very good trade for Dylan Egan. So my 3 trades thought were pretty good. Going off Clark's current role, he's a set and forget. He's a season keeper. Calero, same thing, set and forget, season keeper. So yeah, trades overall really, really good. It's just the turbo factor. Who knows? It's just a scary prospect. So you did turbo, Chris. You didn't do that, Jake, did you?
nah, mate, that was a nice cheeky fade from me, in my opinion. 72 is not a bad score from Turbo. But yeah, he would have dropped a little bit of money. So yeah, if he was playing this week, would have been a good buy. But ended up being not named because once again he's carrying an injury.
Yeah, but he is also probably a B stick away from getting 100 points. Like, didn't get that try himself, which he normally would score. Did that draw and pass to Leo Hapawadi. He was like centimeters away from scoring. And that 72 could be turning into 100 plus. So if he got 100 plus, everyone would be Yahoo and chirping. But again, that's footy. What else can we say, boys? Chris, we'll go straight to you, mate, in terms of buys for this week.
Yeah, well, this week there are a lot of buys available, and it's tough, especially if you don't have a boost. I think we definitely just have to start off with Keon Kalamatangi. 612k. He's got a break even 21. He's the number one most traded in this week. He's been averaging 84 in base since he moved to front row forward 2 weeks ago. He also plays round 15 and round 18, so both the major buys, but misses round 19. I think you have to watch for tomorrow because he is an origin risk if some of the forwards go down for New South Wales. But in my opinion, I think he's the must buy of this round. For comparison, Terrell May and Payne Haas, they're averaging 66 and 60 in base. So that's 20 less than Keon Kalamatangi. There's a whole bunch of other people that you want to think about buying this week. Eli Katoa, Dylan Lucas, Fletcher Sharp. If you didn't get them in last week, you definitely should this week. Lehigh Hopper-Whitey, he's the third most traded in. Zach Lomax, and even Jerome Hughes, who is playing your team, the Titans this week. Thoughts?
Oh, mate, I'm shitting my pants about the Storm, but I would like to hear Jake's take first.
Yeah, there's definitely, I agree with Chris on a lot of ones there. KK Kalamatangi, definitely great buy opportunity this week. I would love to bring him in, but I actually don't know if I will be at this stage. My two trades this week are a bit off cuff, I think. One is credit to you, Ryan, that you mentioned in Appy Coruscant. Playing 80 minutes at the moment with no De Silva on the bench there. I think he got 80 last week or the week before, sorry. -8 break even. That's my man for sure. So as soon as you mentioned that one, Ryan, in the chat, checked him out, and that's meant for me. So I've moved things around. Sandon Smith down to halfback. Got rid of Dylan Brown. In comes Appy. That gives me some good future planning for round 15. Tigers don't play, but the Roosters do. So now I've got a halfback. So for that round. And then, I guess my odd one for this week, haven't been on him all season, and he had a great run for a bit there, and that is Clint Gutherson. I've traded out KP, bringing in Gutho, 14 break even at home against the Knights. Knights had a good week last week, but if KP backs up after Origin, they might crumble again. Knights haven't been a superstar team. I'm ready for Gutho to actually have a good week.
Wild. Chris, we can't do it again. Old man Gutho, we slandered him too much. We've gone too far. I think the trade wouldn't go through on SuperCoach.
Hey, before we talk about Gutho, man, you're hot, mate. No, Keon, absolute hot take. I don't think your hot take of Queensland winning this week is tomorrow is the big hot take. No, Keon, man, that's crazy. But look, Jake, I do really like Clint Gutherson. If I'm being honest, I did notice on Teamless Tuesday that Christian Tuipulotu is back on the left wing. And yes, money man, Ryan. And honestly, Chef Guffo, he's just got he could just be 3 try assists per game all over again, and he just could be killing it. Yeah. It's actually not a bad buy at all. It's just the issues I've got Turbo, so I don't know if I can afford to trade to him again. This fullback roulette's killing me, Ryan.
Yeah, I can't do it, mate. I can't go back and forth. My last year's Cardinal sim was just flipping player back and forth. The Titans boys know I had a soft spot for AKP, better known as Calm Pereira. I think I did old Rock and Diamond bloody 3 trades in one season when I first started SuperCoach. I can't do that Cardinal sim again with Clint Gutherson. And again, we slandered him too much. It's like Nico Hines. I probably shouldn't have traded Nico Hines out. But again, we've committed, and I can't do that for Clint Gutherson. But, Jakey, when you said the Gutho shout, it's actually not too bad. So, and I posted this in our group chat, boys, but when Tuipulotu, again, he might be the magic man himself or the money man, him and Munster, the money man. Tuipulotu, when he was playing with Gutherson managed to score 113, 146, 47, 130, and 54. Maybe Tuipulotu is the key to Clint Gutherson's success. And obviously with Val Holmes probably backing up, that's going to be that left edge dynamic trio that we could be talking about. Could be huge.
Yeah, I really hope so. If it does take Tui to be playing for Gutho to get 3 digits, I'm all for it. So he is back this week. I've decided to even chuck the vice captain on Gutho as well, just for the first game of the round. So throwing everything at him at the moment. Yeah, I do have a boost up my sleeve. So look, I could do something like a Corey Horsburgh to Koloamatangi, as because that was definitely another option for me. But I just think I want to hold that boost just for that just in case moment. So yeah, someone needs to miss out. You can't get everyone each week. I'm definitely using 2 trades this week. I do not want to be using a third. But I think just with the Dragons playing that round 15, that's definitely been like a good point for me to bring in Gutho. Get rid of KP for me. He has let me down a little bit in terms of SuperCoach this season so far, and I just see him being involved with the Maroons definitely for the Origin series. So I think it's not a bad time to get rid of him. And yeah, hopefully Gutho can do a job. But back to like different trades as well, and there's heaps. Like I know you mentioned Lomax as well there, Chris. For me, another one. If people are considering Lomax, I know he's a lot more consistent, I guess, but he will be caught up with Origin. And if you've got the depth in your team and you're looking for another Origin player, Xavier Coates, if he backs up after Wednesday night, they're up against the Gold Coast Titans this week. Storm could easily be whipping out another 64 points against a Titans team that get nothing, just like the Tigers a couple of weeks ago. So Coates has even got a negative break even. He's at a high price of 700 grand. I think he's got a break even of negative 12 or 24, I think I saw earlier. So yeah, it comes down to how many trades, what your team's looking like. But yeah, for that shout out on Lomax, I'm jumping on that Queensland side, mate. Xavier Coates, he's the better buy. He's the better buy.
He might not kick him, but he can definitely catch him, that's for sure.
So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think the key on non-buy is just absolutely wild. Like, you got to get him in, Jake. And again, you're not overall, so again, you're not going to go like with the pack. But he's just so good. Like, he's so good. He's going to make so much money. He's going to get that dual position in round 18. I know you love a dual, Jakey. So if that doesn't incentivize you, mate, I don't know what will.
Yeah,
The B apparently is not low enough. 21's not low enough for Jakey.
Oh,
to
it's
convince
low.
him.
It's low, but it's not as low as a 14 or a negative 8. And that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm looking at it. So don't you talk to me about BEs. I got my numbers in order. I promise. I promise. So yeah, look, that's tough. Like speaking of low BEs, Lehigh, Hopewadi, obviously he's back at fullback with Turbo out this week, and he's got a 3. If I don't play Gutho, Lehigh could definitely be that man in fullback for me this week too. So yeah, both of the Storm boys, Ellie Katoa, for those who don't have him, Jerome Hughes, same thing. But once again, you just be mindful of that round 15 bye because Storm won't be playing that one. So yeah, there is a lot of good buys this week. So yeah, you just need to have a look around. Even I don't think it's like definitely a great buy, but I even just quickly had a look at AJ, JC. They can do a job for the Titans. They're 2 main men. JC's got a break even, I think, of 76 and AJ about 14. So depending on where they work, they both got duels, and yeah, I do love a duel. So just a little shout out to some local love for the Titans there. So, but yeah, plenty of trades this week. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, as a Titans boy, because I did see TLT, Brimo is not at fullback this week, or not starting there. And when he's at fullback, absolutely love it. Again, I don't mind him at 5'8", better than at centre, but at 5'8", nowhere near as is impactful. And again, sort of like Fletcher Sharp-esque. You chuck him back into fullback, he's a totally different player. Do you reckon there could be a potentially late change for the Titans with what's his name?
With Foreign coming in?
Yeah, Foreign into 5'8", and then obviously De Groot going to the bench. That's the guy I was looking for, De Groot.
Yeah, look, it could definitely happen. I haven't looked at their extended bench. Maybe De Groot even drops out, kind of thing. But it would be interesting to see what happens there with Foreign at 14. I think this weekend, you could maybe even just get half an hour or something out of De Groot at fullback, and then eject Foreign, who obviously might struggle to get 80 minutes coming back from his injuries, especially. And yeah, if you give him maybe 50 minutes to lead the team around for the back end, AJ obviously could just go straight back to that one, and De Groot just kind of sits on the bench in case of any injuries. So don't know what Des has got in store this week. He's got a tough game ahead of him though. And yeah, but he needs to try something. He definitely needs to try something. So I want that upset win. I want all the Storm boys to be rested. I want Cam not playing. I want Grant not playing. Yeah, Trent, mate, after your debut, just have another rest. So yeah, do a job, mate. Get a hat trick or something off the bench for Queensland, and then yeah, just let it be, mate. So yeah, let the Tits get the upset this weekend. It'd be great.
Go enjoy the Gold Coast beaches instead of
yeah, exactly.
running a ride.
Yeah. Come up here, enjoy the sunshine. We've had some ripper weather lately. I think the rain is coming though, so which is a bit of a shame. But where is the game? Is it here this weekend?
Yeah, Seabus, mate. I'm going.
Yep. Oh, geez,
Big
out
week
of
of footy for
touch.
me. Yeah.
So much for a fan, hey?
Yeah, no,
What's your
look,
thought?
yeah, I think both JC and AJ are both in the watch list for me. Even if he's at named at fullback, the draw makes it really difficult to buy AJ this week. You know, and same thing as JC. Halfbacks average 45 against the Storm, and then they average 42 against the Broncos, which the Gold Coast Titans next to opponents. I think that JC becomes a potential buy in round 15 when the draw eases up into Manly at home, Parramatta, and then Cowboys at home. They have a bye, obviously, in round 18, but then they also play Broncos again.
Yeah. I think, JC again. I wish I held him. But yeah, he's a season keeper at 5'8". Him and Munster are definitely the two boys ideally there. And that's something I definitely need to be upgrading post-origin period. And I'm getting scared about my trades. But I think next week we'll sort of talk about Ryan potentially doing enough, because I am anti-nuff. But we'll save that for next week's podcast. What about there's some other highly bought guys on my screen, boys, for Ewan Aiken and Ezra Mam. What do we think about these guys this week? Jake, we'll start with you, mate.
I personally haven't even looked at Ewan Aiken. I don't know if I've been watching many South games, so I don't even know what role he's been playing.
80 minutes on the edge, mate.
Yeah,
with Keon going to the middle. And then even better for you, Jake, center wing, second row duel, baby.
Yeah, I see it, mate. I'm scrolled down, I'm having a look. So it's there. Yeah, look, personally for me, not actually interested in Aitken at all. As for Mam, not he's on the watch list for me. I know he had a huge game last week, break even of -20, but he's not changing price for another week. So be interesting to see what he kind of bounces at and gets this week. And then Broncos don't play round 15; they're on the bye. So just that forward planning for me, I just seem to be a little bit scarred after last round, and only just scraping 14, having to use 4 trades to get there, kind of thing. So I'm very conscious now. I think we were talking earlier. We know who the Origin players are. There's obviously a lot of lock-ins there, and the ones that are, have a chance of maybe missing out. If everyone does a job and it's not a huge blowout either way, I can essentially see both teams essentially being the same for game 2. So we know who our Origin players are. You can start really planning that round 15, just looking at the buys. And I guess that's why Koloamatangi could be also a great option for those who do need to bring in a second rower. Rabbits do play that round, so just to lean back into him. But yeah, for me, I'm actually avoiding both Man and Aiken. No interest at all at the moment.
Thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, Ewan Aiken, he's been basing 61 the last 2 weeks when playing at 2RF. I think he's a great player to consider. His points do go down if he plays it at centre, but obviously Alex Johnson's back now, and I think that the Souths they've sorted out a lot of their center wing issues, but I don't think you can buy him this week when you've got so many better 2RF options like Keon and also Eli Katoa. I think that, I'd probably buy Aitken if you were looking for two 2RFs this week, and you could only afford Keon and Aitken. But otherwise, I'd definitely be getting Eli Katoa. He has a break even of 79 this week, but he's 63k down from his starting price. It's the cheapest he's been all year, and he's fresh off the bye. And he and the Storm now go into just this incredible draw, as we talked about, Titans this week. But then he's at home against North Queensland Cowboys bye in round 15, but that's their final bye. And then they run into Souths Sharks. That Sharks one is big. 2 p.m. Sunday, Amy Park. And then North Queensland again, and as well as Newcastle. Katoa's a season keeper. I think you just got to find a money for him at some point. And I think this week's a great week to try to find some money for him against the Titans. With Ezra Mann, he's got, I know it's like Jake said, he scored 128 last week, and that's his highest score ever. Like in 3 seasons, he's never cracked a ton. And he's averaged only about 50 to 55. You could ask, is it a new Ezra Mann this year? Possibly, but like Jake said, I think you get a free look. If he scores 80 plus, then maybe you do have to get him because then he plays the Gold Coast Titans, and their draw is pretty good. But in my opinion, I just don't think he's for me. He's only available at 5/8, and at the end of the day, like you said, Ryan, you want Munster and JC there, really.
Yeah. And again, the Man one is hard because he looked very, very good. And I could definitely see him replicating that type of game. Obviously, 128 is very high, but that type of game-esque, 80 to 90 points a week, I could definitely see that in that Broncos team with that forward pack, the way it moves. It's hard, and I'm quite lucky because I've held Shibasaki, and if Ezra Mann's popping off every single week, Shibasaki is obviously going to be a beneficiary. So I think Shibasaki, if you held on for this long, keep holding, especially with Ezra Mann back there. Shibasaki's definitely hold, but definitely a wait and see for Ezra. Definitely need to see at least one more performance of him going gangbusters, and pretty much with a full strength Broncos team ready to go. It'll be interesting to see. What's our thoughts on Jesse Arthurs, boys? He's playing fullback this week. What's your thoughts, Chris?
Look, I sold him probably in round 5 or something like that. He's not coming back in my team. There are so many better Rocks and Diamonds players. Xavier Coates. That's who you want to look at. Not Jesse Arthurs at this time of the year. Yeah,
he's hot. He's good looking rooster though. He's good looking rooster. Jake, thoughts on Jesse Arthurs?
I didn't know Arthurs was at 1. Why on earth is Cobbo not there? That's crazy to me.
The hand.
The hand issue. Oh yeah, fair call. Look, in terms of SuperCoach, he's not coming into my team. Same thing. I started with him. He made me some money. I also had Shibasaki. So yeah, for me, I was pretty keen to get rid of one of my Broncos when they're both in the centre wings there. And yeah, Jesse Arthurs, when he kind of peaked, was the man I got rid of. So, and yeah, in terms of bringing him back in for SuperCoach, not interested.
Yeah. Because a lot of these boys, well, especially in my team anyway, they're all getting to around that peak price around 500 to 600K. So again, next week's going to be very interesting in regards to my trade. So I can actually start looking at getting some guns in. But there's another guy I want to be talking about, Jordan Samrani. So he's also Jakey, 2RF centre wing dual. And again, quite useful. Again, you'd be flexing guys like Bo Fermor, and you could be flexing guys like Dylan Lucas, or yeah, Ewan Aiken. There's plenty of guys. He could be a useful pickup. What do we think, boys? He looks like he's locked down that centre position. Chris?
Yeah. That break even -9, Jake. Yeah, look, I don't think he's really cheapy price. I think he's not for me as well. His value lies when he comes off the bench and he plays through the middle. Like he scored. I did consider him last week, but but then he got named at right center. Obviously, he did score 60. This year he doesn't play around 15. I think you're just better off buying enough instead.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah, I agree. For me at least in my plans, don't get me wrong, I'm always considering break evens and pricing moving forward, but I don't really need those cheapies anymore. My team across the park is pretty well stacked, in even throughout my entire bench. So I'm really focused on these buy rounds and getting through this origin period. And then I'll actually be looking to sell some of my big names where they're just I don't even have that opportunity to play them. Like I've held on to Jacob Preston, for example, ever since his suspension. So he's just sitting there with 720 grand on the bench for me. And I essentially have 6 solid stars in my second row there. So my main focus, yeah, through this origin, through these buy rounds, and then yeah, I'll be bringing in some dual nuffs, just to play around with my team where I need to, and after origin and all that, yeah, I'll be looking to bring in just the absolute stars and try and come home strong and hit that first place for head to head.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take it.
I want to hear your perspective, boys, on Ola Kawatu and Ruben Garrick. So they've been an absolute burden on my ass. I should have sold Garrick when it was like 850K. I was talking about, and maybe we can rephrase back to Scumbag Adam. He told me to hold him, and he's been absolutely dog shit ever since that call. What's our thoughts on Ruben Garrick currently? Is he a season keeper still with the current Manly form, Jake?
Look, Garrick he has so much potential. I feel like he's had some ripper scores around that 130, 140, 150 mark in the past over a couple of seasons now. So he's a very dangerous man not to have, especially when he gets those good matchups. And from memory, I think he scores better when Tommy Turbo isn't in the team. I think that's right. So, and going off, yeah, once again, Turbo's form, he's not playing this week. Who knows when he's back? Yeah, I definitely feel for you if you've seen him get up to that high price of 800, 850 or whatnot, and you didn't get to use that cash elsewhere. But if you decided to hold, I'd be keeping him. I was considering him last week with a BE. But sorry, mate. Just going to jump onto my phone here. My AirPods have died on me. How good. But yeah, for me, Garrick's a hold. I do think he still slips into that point of a season keeper.
Did you just have a ghost in your room or something, mate? Your screen got like possessed or something. He's gone! Oh, Chris, what's your thoughts on Garrick or Ola Kawatu?
Look, Garrick, I think he's definitely a hold at the moment. You know, he's a number for round 15 and round 18, the major buys. I don't think. Oh, hi, Jake. Good to have you back.
was erected.
Like Jesus. I think that if you don't, even if you don't believe that he's a season keeper, I don't think that you sell him until round 19.
Yeah.
Same thing as Ola. There's no chance of him being picked for Origin at this point in time. If you've got him in your team, you hold him. Manly have a fairly good draw, you know, especially in round 15s and 18s. So, you know, again, you just need a number unless you've got heaps of numbers, you know, for those two major buys. And we all know what's happened, you know, first major buy. Injuries keep happening in SuperCoach. It's been an issue for the last 2 years. Don't sell your players who are playing in major buys at the moment. Yeah.
And also with the injury front, Garrick's been super durable. And almost you could say one of the best traits is availability is almost one of the best characteristics on a week-to-week basis, especially like this. Like Karaz, yes, probably has more upside than Garrick, but hey, he's injured every second week, so that's not ideal. What's your thoughts on Ola Kawatu, Jake, as you got teleported from this realm?
Yeah, sorry about that. That was a scary moment. My AirPods died on me, and I started quickly trying to change the speakerphone and whatnot there. So, apologies about that. Yeah, just making some fries again, mate. Just making some fries. Yeah, look, Ola Kawatu. I started with him round one. He's been a keeper for me this entire time, and yeah, the same with Garrick, I guess. Like they haven't been really pulling out super big scores for us as of late. You're lucky to get, I guess, that 40-50 mark from them. And even last week, with Ola Kawatu not making it into the 17 for the Blues, I think everyone was ready for him to get that rage and that fire in his belly to kind of come out and score big.
Yeah.
But we didn't really see that, unfortunately. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential with Ola Kawatu as well. He's at the moment he's definitely a hold for me. And yeah, there could even be a good opportunity to just keep an eye on his break even and find a good opportunity to buy him as well. So yeah, for those who don't have him, yeah, keep him in mind. Just see how his form going, see how his price and BE tracks along. So
Yeah. Yeah, Garrick's just been frustrating, but he hasn't. I can't actually remember the last time he scored a try, and he's been averaging like what? Yeah, 50, literally 51 for the past 3 games. So I don't think he scored a meat pie. He gets a meat pie, he's almost up to 80 points. So, yeah, it's a bit frustrating. Chris, anyone else you can think of that would be either worth a buy or a hold? I think you're on mute, mate.
Sorry. Yeah. Plenty of other buys, for sure. Firstly, Scott Drinkwater. Somebody we haven't talked about for a little bit on this pod. 876k. He came crashing back to earth with a 14th against Manly just before the round 12 bye, but he still has a 5-game average of 94. This week, the Cows, they're probably thinking about avenging that loss, and they play, you know, that West Tigers team at Qbus that have been rocked by further Lockie Galvin drama. We won't talk about that, sadly. Drinkey does play Melbourne the week after, but it will be at home. And as you know, there's always points on offer at Qbus. They're not. Like, I guess you could death ride him and pick him up in round 15, but then in round 15, you probably also want to pick up Teddy if you don't have him, because the Roosters come into a favourable draw. Zach Lomax, who we talked about earlier, he's 728k. He's got a break even of 43. Plays Penrith at home, backing up from Origin this week. Before playing the Bulldogs away, and then he goes into bye once again because of Origin. He plays five of the next 7, and we know that he backs up from Origin. So I thought last week he looked amazing with Moses inside him, and he scored 121 that week. I love him. I think he's a season keeper. I'm going to be trying to get him in as well. His scores last season were a little bit mixed during Origin. He scored 170 against the Tigers, and he scored 81 and 30, so he had a 93 average. And he's only 2.2% owned in the top 10 at the moment. So he's a bit of a super pod, in my opinion. Yeah, the question is just whether you have spare trades to buy him this week when there's just so many good buys.
Yeah, I know. Jakey, our mate Paul at TRL, will having a yarn on Monday just for our game, and we're talking about trades this week. And yeah, he's bringing in Zach Lomax, but he's told me that he's already nuffed out 4 players to essentially go super high and just absolute garbage. So whether or not that's an effective strategy, and he's in a couple of our leagues, so it'll be interesting if he can pull through that type of strategy. But yeah, I'd be nuffing out too. Zach Lomax, he's probably a guy I'll be looking at in the post game too, I reckon. Just going off the buy schedule for them. But yeah, he's a gun. Absolute gun. And again, with Mitchell Moses back, the Eels are a different team. Iongi's looking like he's found a little bit of form as well. I think we got to speak about him. He's almost a bit under the radar at the moment. He's had a couple of 80s and 90s in recent weeks. What do I think about Iongi, boys? Is he a potential shout or not really? What do you think, Chris?
No, he's not in the top 3 or 4 fullbacks. Yeah, I think Guffo, Pappy, Drinkwater, and also Teddy, they're all above him. There's just no space for him, sadly.
Yeah. Jake, you, mate?
Mate, yeah, I wouldn't be looking to buy Iongi, but here's another man that I've held since round 1. I've still got Iongi. And yeah, he's been doing a good enough job for me, surprisingly. So, what did he get last week? Yeah, an even 90 last week with a B of 54 this week. He's actually going to be the man I eventually turned into Tedesco. I'm kind of just waiting for Iongi. I keep saying to peak in price, and he just seems to find a way to find me a little bit more money each week. It's crazy. So, and Teddy, I think he's got 151 or 155 break even this week, and I just want Teddy to come down crashing in price. And as soon as that moment hits, yeah, Iongi to Teddy for me is my play. But yeah, if you don't have Iongi, don't bother, guys. Use your money elsewhere. Try and make some more money if you need to. Then, because I wouldn't be bothered bringing him into your team. But if you have him at the moment, there's no harm in holding. So
yeah. Boys, what about sells? Is there any like must sells? There's a couple guys with decent break even, but I'd like to hear your perspective. What do you think, Chris?
Obviously, your injured players like Dylan Egan. I think Corey Horsburgh, he's done a job. As we said earlier, he's become a liability with yet another sin bin, and he misses round 15. I think he goes. For me personally, I'm trading out Connor Tracy as well at some point, especially with Galvin moving to the Bulldogs. He's probably even going to lose his spot. Writing's on the wall. Yeah.
What about you, Jakey?
yeah, when I look at my team, I don't really necessarily have any must sells. Yeah, if any, I do agree with that Corey Horsburgh one. If I was going to be bringing in Kalon Watangi this week, Horsburgh is the man that is going to go. Yeah, it all comes down to what your team is. Yeah, if you have any of those major suspensions or injuries or whatnot, Payne, if you're looking for money, maybe Payne Haas. He's not even a must sell, but he's got a pretty high break even of 96, which he can easily rip out. But with that quad concern, he's walking through these origin periods. Broncos have a round 15 bye. Yeah, if it allows you to plan for the next month, Payne Haas actually is an option to sell. I know a lot of people, I think, did it last week. So, yeah, there's no harm in doing that this week as well. So, yeah, bit low on the must sells from my behalf, I think.
Yeah, I really think there's no one really standing out personally. I've been trying to get rid of Adam Dewey for bloody what is it now? Around 13, so 12 weeks now. I've been trying to get rid of Adam Dewey. So yeah, that's been a bit of a mission. But hey, Adam Dewey is now in the Origin camp for New South Wales, so he actually must be pretty good. So
Yeah, I guess he's a must sell. Yeah, he's Origin risk now. He's also in my team. I try to get rid of him too, and it just every week something pops up instead.
oh mate, it's just so funny. I was on Facebook when I saw the news of Jacob Preston and Adam Dewey, and one of the guys was like, "Is Adam Dewey the guy delivering out the Greek Uber Eats order?" Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, on my team personally, I'm the same. I got guys who most of my guys are break evens or like 50 or less. So Cash King over here still making money. Besides Bot Boy, Garrick, and Olakawatu. So hopefully a bit of reverse psychology with no turbo there can get me soaring up the leaderboard there. But yeah, boys, what about captaincies this week? What are we thinking? I'm personally going straight for my boy Ryan Pappenhausen against the Gold Coast Titans with a VC on Fletcher Sharp playing against King Gutho's St. George Illawarra Dragons. Who are we thinking about potential captain options this week, Jake?
Yeah, you've made the right moves there, Ryan. Definitely. The only change I have from you is that I've moved my VC from Sharp to Gutho. I do see Ponga backing it up from Origin unless he gets injured or whatnot, or comes out a bit not so good. And I just think that Fletcher Sharp back at 6, he might not get those same numbers when he played at fullback last week. You could jump on Lucas. Obviously, he did exceptionally well last week, but that was with a pretty decimated Panthers team. And he obviously has those injury concerns, which he obviously looked like he shook off last week, but you never know. So, yeah, for me, VC Gutho, Captain Pappy this week. It just makes sense. Pappy off a bye last week up against the Gold Coast Titans. If he whips out another 180, everyone will be cheering. And, yeah, there's definitely potential for that.
What are you, Chris? What are you thinking?
Yeah, Pappy's a logical call. You can either VC him or see him. If you're gonna see him, then your VC options are in that game, and most likely be Lucas or Fletcher Sharp. But like Jake said, Fletcher Sharp's really not an option at 6. For me personally, I'm gonna VC Pappy. Currently, I've figured that I've got to play Jenkins this week in my CT dub. And for me, originally, Jenkins was a hold. He has a break even of 83, and because that 117 from the Broncos drops out, but he plays Parramatta and West Tigers in the next 2 weeks. But then TLT came out and Case McLean's been named again, and I just can't have that. So what I'm really hoping for is for Pappy to VC Pappy. Pappy goes big, then I can loop Connor Tracy as captain, and then I don't have to play Jenkins, is what I'm really hoping for. And then I'll just deal with the AE. Whatever I get is whatever I get. But I'm also, that might change. I don't think it will change at all. Because unless, basically it depends if, I'm really hoping essentially that McLean gets dropped and poor Alamotti gets named instead. I don't know why he's been dropped to the reserves. But that, and then if that happens, I'll just put the straight C on Pappy. But really, it has to be Pappy. If you don't like Pappy or you're going to VC him, then your captaincy options most likely would be Drinky, Nathan Cleary, and probably Terrell May as well. He scored 121 2 weeks ago.
True.
Yeah. And if Pappy doesn't work out, it could be raining. Apparently, it's not supposed to rain at the game. Yeah, so I expect Pappy to go absolute massive against the Titans.
Yeah, I think being rested obviously is a huge thing. Parramatta, I don't know. I think they looked pretty good in defence last week against the predictable Manly Sea Eagles. But yeah, I don't think Oh, who knows? Panthers are just the absolute wild card this year. So hard to predict. Any love for Latrell Mitchell at a core stadium against the Warriors on Sunday?
I haven't looked at Latrell Mitchell in SuperCoach whatsoever, to be honest. I don't even know how he's been averaging or scoring or whatnot.
Go ask
Yeah,
Morgan, mate. He's frothing it.
I don't know about a captaincy option this week. I'm just having a quick look at him now. Yeah, I don't know about a captaincy option against a tough New Zealand team. They got a loss at home against Canberra. But yeah, what a game that was. That was two powerhouses of the competition, I feel, at the moment. So, yeah, I feel like New Zealand are going to come out quite strong. They get Fish back this week. I'm ready for New Zealand to be ready to get a good win this week against the South. So, yeah, I wouldn't be vice. Oh, I guess you could vice him, I guess, if it works. But, yeah, I wouldn't be putting the captain on him personally, unless you were just talking about buy options there, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, a bit of both. Yeah,
Yeah.
that fullback rule that as Chris was talking about earlier. I don't know. It's tough.
No, he's definitely not a buy at the moment. Not only does he play New Zealand and then the Raiders, but then he plays his next game in round 16 is actually against the Melbourne Storm. Yeah, like maybe consider him after Origin is what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
boys. Are there any final words, Origin banter? Chris, we'll finish with you, mate.
Oh, what are your trades this week, Ryan?
Oh, true. Been absolutely rattled after 3 hours of podcasting. Yeah, my trades. Good shout. So I have got actually rid of Corey Horsburgh out of my front row. I've flexed up Tino to my front row. Jazz Tafanga then goes to my second row. By the way, Jazz Tafanga, absolute GOAT trade a couple of weeks ago. And Appy Coruscant's in. So, yeah, Appy's my set and forget hooker now for the rest of the year, probably, assuming no injury. And then my second trade, I have gone with Keon Kulamatangi as well. Who did I trade him in with? Keon was for Nanai. Yeah. So Nanai with that big breaking of a 93. Yeah, being great in regards to pod play, but again, he might have reduced minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Cowboys changed to different halves now. Just a lot of variables. I'm not sure about the Cowboys in their current state. And again, potentially missing 3 of the 7 games during the Origin period. So just don't want to take that risk with Nanai. Wise peaked in price. May as well sell. But yeah, I'm happy with my trades. My trades have been pretty good. It's just my captaincies every week. Again, didn't do Fletcher Sharp when I should have. Yeah, you guys sort of talked me out of it last week. I don't know how, but such is life.
What?
I'm trying to get something back. I got nothing.
For me, this week, I'm trading Corey Horsburgh out for Keon as well. I'll have a close watch and just see whether Payne Haas backs up and how he looks on it tomorrow night. Obviously, he'll look amazing. Absolute smash it out of the park tomorrow, I'm sure. But if he's not backing up, I'm selling him as well. I'm just not sure yet whether I'll sell to Eli Katoa or Zach Lomax. I'll probably both of them are fantastic. Yeah,
Lomax
I'll probably go
for
for
sure,
Lomax
mate.
just because he's the pod. Yeah, I need to catch up some points if I want to get back up. Yeah, and see some green arrows this week.
Yeah. And then Jackie, what were your trades again?
Dylan Brown to Appy Coruscant via Sandon Smith, and Kalen Ponga to Clint Gutherson are my 2 at the moment. Subject to change, but that's me. So, it's good. But just to rewind 5 minutes as well there, just on a final note, Chris, who do you reckon's hurt your SuperCoach more this season? Casey McGluhans, as you would like to say, or Connor Tracy? What do you reckon?
Good question.
Definitely Connor Tracy. Mostly because I've played him. Honestly. Yeah. But I won't lie. Like, Jenkins has been Penrith have been so frustrating to watch. Like just literally like in the second half, like last week, like Penrith make a sweep play to the left, and like it's 2-on-1. Like just pass the ball, bro. Like just and of course Casey McLean has just dummies. And of course he gets tackled. Like but actually, in terms of things that have derailed my season, I think that probably the biggest one actually would be Guffo. Like back in what was it, Ryan? Was it round 9 or round 8
It
or
was like
something like
9.
that? Yeah, like it was Anzac week. And I traded out Teddy for Drinky. Like, but I kept Guffo instead, and so that's just ruined my season. That's what I think. Honestly, that was season defining. That's my biggest one. But in terms of anger, it probably would be it would be Jenkins. Yeah, that's actually point price Connor Tracy.
Yeah. I swear. That Casey McLean has definitely hurt you. I feel like, Chris. That's what I keep hearing from you week in, week out. I think so. There's always commentary there. So but I thought it definitely started to switch to that Connor Tracy. So yeah, it's just a good laugh.
So boys, after 3 hours and probably 2.5 attempts, almost got scared halfway through this podcast with Jake getting resurrected twice. We're here and we're submitting this podcast. We hope it's going to be good. But Tackles and Tinnies listeners, this has been the Fantasy Files. I have a blast doing this with these two boys. They're so knowledgeable and we bounce with each other so well. So every single time I have the opportunity to do this on a Tuesday night, doesn't matter what time it is, even 15 minutes past my bedtime now, I wouldn't change it for the world. And it doesn't matter what we're doing. It's a bit of fun, boys. So, but Tackles and Tinnies listeners, we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear you guys on the socials. Again, I've been responding to all the comments. Either that's on Spotify, Apple Podcast comments, or it could be through social media, as in your Instagram. I've even put a LinkedIn profile now. Who knows? I'm going to network with Denim Kemp and be a bloke in a bar soon. Who knows? But again, like, subscribe, share. Yeah, we love you guys. Up the Maroons, boys, and thank you guys. Thanks for listening.
See you. Thank you. Up the